Well, for one of the last times, ladies and gentlemen, here on our crawlcast, we have one of the toughest and maybe the craziest racetracks you'll see to date, with these drivers going head to head in what could be their last hurrah, their last battle before the true championship comes into their wake. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Auto Club Speedway, and welcome the GOAT Racing League Next Gen Cup Series presented by Global Strategy Team and Jack Racing Collectibles, as well as Cornhole Coffee, to the show. This is your main event today, live here on PT Racing TV. Hi everyone, I'm the Crusader, Chris Star, joining you guys here, still on vacation. Yes, don't worry guys, it's not going to be much longer, I promise you that much. Give me about 6 more days and I'll be back home, where I believe many are still waiting for me. Or at least they say they are anyway, I don't know. Sometimes you can never really tell anymore these days, the way my friends are and my family, so that's okay. That was a joke, by the way. I love all you guys over there. I hope I miss you to death. But nevertheless, here, guys, we're getting ready for the action. You're ready for the showcase. Definitely a bit of a wild one today here, guys. We got a lot of heavy hitters, of course, in this field. 12 looks like we got a good amount of drivers as well. But I think the biggest thing we're going to see really tonight is just going to be really just where do the playoff drivers' heads lie? Where will their focus be? And frankly, from all these races, where have they put themselves in terms of other individuals racing against them? Have they made it to where they're going to get the bumper, they're going to get scooted, they're going to get run around a little bit? Or have they stayed relatively clean enough to stay out of trouble? That's going to be a big thing today. Of course, Tyler Dalton last week, at Pocono, chipping and clipping his way into the round of 4 just by that win alone. So really this race, just like what he did in the Truck Series just a couple of weeks ago, not a big deal for him, not really a big issue he's going to have to work around. He's just going to have to be focused here, just kind of keep himself relatively on pace and speed-wise. Scott Simley, he's in the count, he's in the ride to get to that Final 4. As long as he has a decent finish day, without a doubt, in my opinion, this guy is going to make it into the Final 4. No trouble at all. Only down 6 points right now. The other drivers right now currently behind him, down 15 to them, and then the one on the bubble line with Christoph Hall there is though on the bubble. He's 2 points out right now from Dayton Taylor, who is in the 3rd spot. So Hall needs to have himself an extremely good day to just stay alive. Sammy Harrell, Philip Schmitz, Cameron Dario, Aaron Jackson. That is going to be the field these guys are going to have to watch out for. 6, 8, 39, and 30 points out from themselves and from each other. But if you look at the points right now, it's going to be a very tall order here, because again, Sammy Harrell, he has not won a single race this season. Philip Schmitz never won a race but been dead on consistent. Cameron Dario and Aaron Jackson, both drivers have pegs to them. Dario with the most success with a win already. Jackson coming away empty-handed so far. It's time to see what happens when the field of drivers now come off to the track and come up to the circuit. This is going to be a tough one and a long road ahead for these drivers as we settle it down here in Fontana, California. Auto Club Speedway, get ready, because it is time for the round of 8 championship racing here in the playoffs for the Global Strategy Team Next Gen Cup Series. So the field right now getting set to go here onto the show. Thank you for those who are tuning into the track as well. We do appreciate you guys as well. It is much appreciated here. It is much needed as well. Currently, I am currently dealing with the broadcast end. I'm trying to make sure our stuff is working and up to par. It does take me a minute here, guys. Do be patient with me here. I'm also trying to make sure I read over the names right so I don't screw anybody up. So we do know in the top 3 it'll be Dalton, Simley, and Van Schaik, your top 3. Harrell, Jackson, Burnett, and Kramer are going to be in that next set of rows. Sturgill, Dario, Taylor, and Wild going to be in the next set. Then Hudson, Hall, Hickman Jr., Schmitz in the 15th spot. Your final starters today, Ron Holyfield in the 11, and then Richard Crane the 17. That is going to be the lineup here, guys. Field now has rocketed themselves up. Stage breaks here at lap 60, or lap 25, then lap 60. Then we'll go 60 the distance for the championship on the line here in this hopes and prayers to make it to the round of 4. The final round, call it what you will, either way. Only 4 drivers may enter into that round of 4 here. And there's just so much on the line, so much at stake here. Many of these guys and gals, man, I tell you, they have worked so hard. They have worked constantly throughout, pushing their limits, pushing themselves. It's hard to really tell you really who's going to make it in other than Dalton being the #1 seed. And Dalton, no, easily he can just play the old spoiler and just force everyone else to make their moves here. So, depending on what they're feeling and depending on what they want to do, I think this honestly could be an extremely tough challenge for them. So, we'll see. If Simley wins this, he'll easily be in. So, that would pretty much mean Dalton and Simley in the top 2. Sammy Urel, in my opinion, he needs to finish good or he needs a win. Jackson, he definitely needs a win. Christoph Hall locking himself in, or any of them, even Dayton Taylor, could be the spoiler that we were looking for. As we line them off down from the front straightaway, ladies and gentlemen, here, stage 1 about to commence. Let the drivers hear and see it. It's time to begin the final round of 8 race. This is a chip to the championship 4. $120 laps to the distance. Fire him down through the first set of corners. Looks like Dalton and Simley going to take the early advantage here. Sammy Urel immediately trying to rip the horns and rip the speeds around. The Visage NB number 43 winless so far. And what, in my opinion, has just been an absolutely disappointing season on trucks and the Cup side for him without that win and without being able to get a full chance at it. A couple of times he thought he had something figured out, only to just completely ruin it on his end and on his behalf. He told me earlier today he's not letting that be the same case. More camera here of Maurice Burnett right now, the number 8 here. Again, this guy, he's been constantly a thorn or a bit of a fight in the side of other drivers here throughout these races and throughout these battles, but this has been pretty much one of the toughest ones he's had to face up against. He knows in a championship level field like this, he knows there's going to be a lot of drivers coming and going, and he's just trying to hope to stay out of that mess, stay out of those issues. Dayton Taylor in that 45, you see him kind of slinging around back there, maybe trying to get an early little advantage, trying to get a little push, as he's got Cody Sturgill right in front of him. Sturgill, he's another driver, in my opinion, had an absolutely horrendous season for a multitude of reasons. But really, the biggest thing is we know he's a race winner. He can be easily a race champion. But unfortunately, this season has been just kind of nothing but just bad stuff and issues going his way. I think in total, he's only had maybe like 2 podiums in this entire season. Compare that with Sammy Urel, who's had multiples just now without a win, and the same can be said for obviously Mike Taylor down there, or Mike Kelly there as well. He was obviously another one of those drivers. So right now a little 3 wide salute there between Dayton Taylor, Maurice Burnett, and Cody Sturgill just for a second. Sturgill looking to stay in that groove and in that speed, but did not want anything to do with messing up on the rest of the planes. Right now Maurice Burnett, he's currently dealing with some glitchcraft gremlins on the attack. Knows what's going on, probably doesn't want nothing to do with it and wants to stay out of that mess and not give these drivers any more headaches than they already are dealing with there. Charles Van Schaik, number 23, hanging right behind the number 7 of Scott Simley and Van Schaik. Man, talk about a fall from grace he went through. Had a great start to the season, got 2 wins in the Cup Series, then got 2 wins in the Truck Series. But then all of a sudden it was just like flip of the coin, and then all of a sudden Van Schaik was just out of it. And he was one of my championship favorites going in with that Cup Series title because of how he was racing and how he was performing down there. But as the old saying goes, sometimes the shoe just does not fit where you think it should. It certainly did in this case. On board right now with Christoph Hall, number 44, and right now if you talk about a guy that's probably in desperation mode, I think it's that 44, only 1 win this season. That came at Talladega Super Speedway. He's going to need a lot of work done on this car and a lot of speed built up to just stay in that bubble line. He cannot afford to make any mistakes as he makes a huge charge right there on the number 15. So Joe Hudson, and on the outside, right in the middle there, with the outside being, of course, a championship contender in the 485, Dayton Taylor. You know, the biggest thing, though, about having to battle from that position or battle from that angle is, again, you have to really force yourself and force your ways around on the circuit. He knows he can't be just letting up things too easily. He knows he can't be trying to play nice anymore. Just like when you did at Talladega, you just got to go completely roll through the corners and roll through the power and make sure it works out in your favor as we go on to the onboard camera with that Heineken, number 7, Scott Simley. Stage points too, man. We got to talk about that for a second. Right now, Dalton currently trying to stay ahead of Samuel Rell. Samuel probably trying to hope for a little bit of a break, a little bit of a lucky spot here. He'll only get to lap 25 before that caution comes out, so that could result in a lot more problems, a lot more issues down there. It makes it just that much more difficult to kind of work around the track, how to work around the speeds and the angles you have to deal with constantly throughout. Onboard camera here. Right now, the number 60, John Hegman Jr. He's had a little bit of luck here or there, but honestly, this season it's been kind of just one of those kind of seasons that it's been kind of quiet. Everyone kind of took a step back or took a seat back to other drivers. John Hegman Jr. though he's no slouch though, as he rolls up pretty quickly to the 45. Now Dayton Taylor, seeing it out mind, pushing him up there a little bit too. I'm trying to see if maybe he can kind of nudge around a little. But he's had wins before in trucks. He's had wins before in the Cup. But once again, you know, just everyone taking that back seat to Dalton, to Van Schaik, to maybe Dayton Taylor, I guess you could say. I really don't know else to put in there. Truck Series-wise, it felt like we had a lot more winners than we did in the Cup Series, because it just seems like more often than not, these guys go out there, and it was either between those 3 names I just mentioned. Whereas trucks, it was the opposite. It was like, well, you had a better chance, but you still had to make sure you were putting all your speed, putting all your momentum into that car, into that truck, and making sure it was working out all right. Rolling down right now with the 45, Dayton Taylor. He's still pulling the strings and pulling the speed. He wants to keep everyone out and about and ready to strike on down. So we go 3 wide and just for a brief minute there. You can see Philip Schmitz on the 18. He's lippering down low. He's looking to set the tone and set a little bit of speed up there on the number 7 assembly, as well as the 45 of Dayton Taylor. Perhaps pulling an old double trouble down there when he can. Dalton currently just 20 seconds ahead here of Samuel Harrell as well. I think it might be time to go back and take a look at those two there. As you see, Samuel currently trying to close that gap off and quickly take down Dalton. Stage point so important right now. He knows it too. Not board there with that, Dalton. Samuel Harrell, Charles Van Schaik, Tiff, don't mind the schemes there, guys. They are the same. They are not the same team. They are not the same driver as well. Samuel Harrell, Charles Van Schaik, obviously those two. Very focused, very determined on 2 different goals here. Van Schaik is just to pull off any more wins he can without ruining the playoffs. Samuel Harrell, this is literally, he needs to win. He has absolutely no choice. if he does not win this race, he's going to be in probably the toughest and darkest spot of his mind, because he's going to have to hope that either Dayton Taylor or Christoph Hall and everyone else behind him messes up and he stayed well enough ahead to get enough into the championship round. I mean, I don't even know what to tell you guys, but it absolutely just completely just drives me insane to even think about that for a minute. And Shike right now not playing too favorably there for the 43 Samuel. He's already lipping down low and looking to set the score off a little. Maybe trying to get closer to Dalton. It's kind of weird to see the tire wear right now. The tire is actually kind of wearing more towards the bottom. I would have thought, honestly, with the way the heat and the conditions are and the way the track kind of curves up, maybe that it would focus more towards the outside lane. But we have not had that happen yet. Three wide action in the back there as well. Some of the heavy hitters right now trying to make their way through. Taylor, Simley, and now Jackson. They're all closing off, and even Philip Schmitz, I forgot all about him. He's hanging around back behind Jackson right now. That is championship 4 implications right there. Simley just needs to stay out of trouble, and he keeps himself pretty much relatively in the green and keeps him in a good position to move into that championship round. But I would not want to be him if he makes any mistakes or tries to do anything too crazy or too out of the ordinary here. Still 3 wide down onto the exits here. The number 15, Joe Hudson. I would not be getting too clean down there. I'd be trying to get a little off the clean side and more on the racing side and stay out of that trouble zone. Because Hudson is currently clinging on to everybody like it is his last hope. The way he was closing off on everybody. From that 44 to that 7 to the 12, and now moving back even further, it looks like Eric Jackson may be kind of getting himself into a bit of a loop here, a bit of a spot he doesn't want to be in, so he's going to take it to the outside, try to roll it off there. He's trying so hard to get another line, get another groove there. Oh boy, man, talk about cutting that one a little close. I'm not sure what the heck Hall was thinking, or if he was even thinking he was there, but man, that looked like you couldn't have put anything else in between. There was no way that gap could have worked any better than that one there. They are absolutely just putting right into where they need to be, and they're making every little bit of work, running down as far as they can, just try to hold on. Nobody right now currently safe inside of this speed zone or into this gap. Safe to say right now, though, I think Tyler Dalton has probably just kind of put everybody behind him and thought of nothing of them. I think this is really just a direct message from the 19 that he's ready to get back to Phoenix one more time, one more chance, one more opportunity, and he is looking to just completely bring his final reign of terror to every driver and everybody out there. And at this point, that's kind of the nickname he's going to have to live with for the rest of his life, by the way. I don't think we're ever going to be able to get rid of that nickname. What he did this season and what he did in the Truck Series is just something I don't even honestly think I could even begin to even describe or tell you about. I've been through that show before. I've been through all that nonsense. It's harder than it looks. Looks like caution coming out here instead of lap 25. Looks like they're going to do lap 20 here. No caution is out on the track. Yeah, that would explain why Dalton was running the heck out of the wheels there. Dakota Kramer not on the track here. Nobody currently in the wreck zone here. Looks like Kramer was multiple laps down, so it looks like he kind of left early, so we know it wasn't him there. Just take it from here and move your way on. We'll see what happens as we get right back here. I'm going to quickly be right back here as well. I got some audio things I got to figure out, and I will be back with you right here on PTM Racing TV. back now? We're back? All right, there we go. We got it back. All right, great. Good to get in. Sorry about that, guys. A little bit later than I wanted to be back on the party. Let's get back to the action here. Samuel takes the early lead here. 3 wide, saluting down to the back, though. Cameron Dario, he is now patrolling his way into the field. I am not totally sure what's going on with that paint scheme. That's definitely a unique looking one here for him. I kind of like it, actually. It looks pretty cool. I'll give that to Dario any time of the week. It looks like a pretty little sweet scheme. Well, it looks even more sweeter up front right now as the battles that continue to rage on and war ahead. As right now Jackson currently dealing with some company behind him. It looks like Samuel, I think, probably decided only to go with a set of fuel and tire strategy there. Instead, decided to really hit himself on that something else here. Seems to be working at the moment anyway, though. It's keeping everybody else behind as they're trying to gap through. Sammy currently the race there. Aaron Jackson right behind him as we're on board with it. So 25 now, 26 laps completed in. Lap on number 27 here. Jackson now kind of struggled in the middle side, now to the high side. 3 wide, saluting Hickman Jr. pushing his luck in it. Oh man, that was a little bit close there right off turn number 2 though. You see Hickman Jr., Simile, and Jackson just a little too close. Maybe for their own comfort, maybe for their own good. Almost giving themselves the old nasty little concussion system that you get from running that grap and then find yourself in the wall later. Thankfully, they stayed out of it, and they keep themselves clean right now. But again, that could be a bit of a spot you don't want to find yourself running into more often than not. Just going to need to stay focused and stay slimmed on the market here. Tyredall now moving his way through the field and moving his way back into the gap. He won stage 1 already, so at this point he's pretty much just working on house money. He's already won the race. He won Pocono last week, but I think really this week is more or less just to prove a point, to prove something to the drivers. I think honestly he is still reeling from the comments that were made at him about what have gone on, and unfortunately we didn't have time to censor, but Dalton definitely right now, definitely driving with a heavy mind and a heavy thought, and he's just trying to put everything at stake and put it all on the line, show him that he can race with the best of them. But it is Dayton Taylor in the Rocket League 45 who wants to try to get a leg up early here. He's trying to put the Camrys to good use and trying to keep the Chevy and the Fords behind him. Dalton right now looking further and further ahead of that 43 as Samuel right now probably just thinking I need to get this figured out quickly rather than to let it slide. If one of those guys that are on the top 4 end up winning, that's going to make things even harder for him. He's well aware of that too as we go on board with old Samuel Rell. And a little old reign of terror, by the way. Well, it wasn't kind of surprising before. Well, now he is doing it already. He's looking to try to take the lead away as he's going straight off the bottom lane, looking at the gallon. Looking to set it down, set it up, and the reign of terror strikes again. Whoa, and look, a little gap off on the top side. Old Philip Schmitz, the 18. He just put the Interstate Batteries Chevrolet right into the prey and into the fight. Oh, that little slide job, he kind of just charged right up and kind of threw at everybody there, and it set everyone off a little bit closer than you realized. Bouncing around right now. Dalton probably just thinking more than anything, if I just continue running my line, running my race, at this point, I have nothing to worry about. But I will say, he definitely is going to have a little bit of a handful when it comes to that pit stop, when it comes to that fuel run. Obviously, he knows he can't be making too many mistakes back there, let alone trying to let things get to his head here. Just because you got a race win already does not mean you are a step ahead of everybody. You are more or less possibly on everyone's hit list if you make any mistakes with them or try to mess with them at any point. Caution flag out on the track here. Looks like a little problem down there. Can't quite tell who started that. It looks like Cameron Dario and Cody Sturgill. Maybe the ones that may have got it started. Okay, I know I said I wouldn't, but honestly I think we may need to see the replay here and see what happened. Looks like, yeah, looks like this one's actually going to be on the 15 here, so bear with me here, guys. I got a lot of stuff I'm working around right now. Well, here's the VTM Race TV instant replay. And yeah, it looks like actually the number 24 Sturgill came down on the 54 and Dario got into the 15 of Joe Hudson then. And everybody just kind of getting themselves into a bad spot, to say the least. Again, it's not my usual setup here, guys, so bear with me here. But nevertheless, that's going to slow these guys up a bit there. You see old Richard Crane. Good to see him still running around on here on the track. Chevrolet 36 right now just staying relatively out of the issues and out of bad territory. The field will go down to pit road. Field going to pit road right now. We'll see what happens here. Gonna be a long list of guys and drivers who are just trying to find their way around, trying to make their point. Dalton, though, already gonna just take it right in where he wants it to most and just continue to move the chains. Yeah, he'll do that constantly here, guys. He's not gonna let off. He's not gonna give any of these drivers any time to break here. So the field has gone in and out of pit road. We're going in for another pit stop, I guess. I guess if one wasn't good enough, then I guess we need another one. I think, honestly, they're just wanting to get themselves squared away and more set on the track. Philip Schmitz is going to be your race leader. As the drivers go back into pit road, I don't think they may have took enough fuel, I guess, so they're going to dig even more. Dayton Taylor going to try to get as much time as he can in there. Charles Van Schaik also in the mix, and looks like Sammy Morrell as well. We'll go back down out of pit road, though. Tyler Dalton jumping ahead, and now everybody pretty much putting themselves right into a very fine line here. This is going to be a very tall spot for these drivers. So the field has now lined their way around on the track here. Yet again, we're going to double file them up. Schmitz, Jackson with a great opportunity here to gain some extremely big stage points. Let's see what happens when we roll them to the green. Green flag's back on now. Let's see what happens. Well, it was supposed to be lap 60 for stage 2, but I had to guess since we finished 5 laps earlier, it'd probably be about lap 55, lap 50. Then we'll see the stage break come out for stage 2. And maybe it is lap 60, we'll see. But nevertheless, Joe Hudson, he's already trying to make use of the good pit stop that he just gained from these guys. Moving their way down across the bottom lane to the bottom chains here to the middle of the bottom here. Hudson and Jackson right on Schmitz's tail. Schmitz immediately going on defensive, trying to block the runs off. This dirty airflow around this car, too, I gotta believe, probably forces a lot of these guys to have to make some either extremely questionable decisions or have to look at maybe the overall picture, which is it even possible to get a good run without having to get too close for comfort? See right now is you're on board with John Hickman Jr., Cameron Dario, and the Wild Man, Alan Wild, the number 22, trying to put the commander in presence and in charge. Dario with a great bottom lane shoot. Oh, down trouble. There's trouble. Wild there coming right off of Hickman Jr. there to turn number 4, and that will end up giving us another caution flag out. Oh, man, oh, man, oh, man. We don't have to go to the replay, thankfully, for that. But unfortunately, not so much for the 22. Alan Wild cannot be too thrilled about that one. Comes off right off from turn number 4. And what I said earlier about being a little too close for comfort, well, that's exactly what can happen sometimes. You get a little too close, get a little bit too aggressive. And the next thing you know, bye-bye, it's off to the races with a huge wreck in its sight. Oh, man, oh, man, oh, man. Well, Schmitz is going to probably have a little bit of relief knowing that he's going to lead a few more laps in, but again, how bad is the tires, how bad is the fuel, and how much more can he possibly drive off from there, honestly? Certainly is going to be a little bit of work and a little bit harder to kind of do off now considering that whole situation, but it's not feasibly impossible. He can still get it right, and he can still take it down a few notches. He's just needing to be very careful and a little bit more focused, on the subject. It's good to see Jackson, though, there for that little bit. While he was dealing with Hudson, able to actually kind of make a little bit of a run for the race lead. Does have a stage point, at least, this season, but honestly, if he needed stage points now, he needs more than that. He needs a win. And he has to get a win, or he's going to be pretty much deadlocking himself into a whole bunch of stuff here. Well, 1/3 of the way for sure there now. So at this point, it's all about just who can take it home and who can figure this one a little bit better. Hudson being very cheeky down there on that bottom. I'm not sure if he wants to go into pits or not, but it looks like he was kind of playing with them, as well as Scott Silmy back there as well. With 1 lap to go. Time has come now, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to roll them off down from turn number 3 in for the final flaps here of stage number 2. Anybody's guess, really, at this point, who is going to take this one on down. But at the same time, in the same token, I think you could be seeing quite a few drivers having to fight and scratch and claw in a very tight and a tough little ordeal. This could get interesting here as we're rolling down to the green flag restart zone. Schmitz goes for the jump, and he'll line him off down the restart. Right now, the only drivers, in my opinion, though, that really need stage points are those that are in that top 4 or are on the very cuts of that bottom, which would be guys like Samuel Harrell. And Harrell, honestly, right in that 3rd spot, I gotta believe probably thinking about taking home that spot and trying to take that away from him. But it's Joe Hudson right now that is trying to build a runoff and trying to build a little bit of speed and momentum gained off on it. Schmitz, though, defending and blocking down on that bottom, now moving it towards the top. Yet again, going to reel it in. It looks like Samuel Harrell. Oh, he's digging into the corners there a little bit. He dug onto that bottom lane, and then Hudson tried to clear him down off the gap. Now trying to find another way around him. Rolling it back down, 3 wide, saluting through turn number 1, ladies and gentlemen. This could get interesting. Hudson, big bobble there coming off turn number 2. You saw the rear end slip out just enough, and Samuel Harrell taking full control of that. A daily double, the 43 massage enemy looking to get the lead and get the stage. Big jump right when he needed it most. Brilliantly done as Philip Schmitz falls behind. Joe Hudson, the 15 now, kind of straggling to get back in that mix and get back in that hunt. Schmitz knows he's in deep trouble, though. If he doesn't figure something out, he's going to either have to win this race or he's going to have to now push luck beyond its limits and hope that a lot of drivers mess up. Not easily get and be successful, though. Rolling it back through down on that gap side here. We got a good battle charging on the back straightaway as now Aaron Action Jackson coming up close with a 45 of Dayton Taylor. And Christoph Hall even making his way into the field. Cameron Dario, though, just right on the verge. And he's pulling a lot of strings right there, getting as close as he did there to the 44 of Hall. A lot more camera here in Dayton Taylor right now as he's trying to not only stay off of that 44, but he's also trying to build as much speed and control to get around him as well. Looking to shoot his way down on the inside, looking for a runoff or two, looking for a little bit of extra kick, a little extra give, and yeah, that's exactly what he needed. almost halfway done right now. It looks like Harrell might be almost done with this stage, but he's going to have to make sure he hangs in there a little bit. He's looking in deep, looking to hang in there. Hudson, Dayton Taylor, all of them want a piece of it, want a piece of that action in that pie. Just trying to hang in there in between the sets and looking for whatever they can do. Dayton Taylor now going in between, looking to hit the kill switch and hit the kill blow in there. He's working hard. He's racing extremely hard just to get that inside lane there from Joe Hudson. Now Christoph Hall. He's now making his way in. And, oh, maybe a little too hard there, right on the inside of the 15. And Hudson, hang on, buddy, hang on. Oh, boy. He almost got himself into a very bad little spot there. Now it looks like it's going to evolve just around two drivers, Harrell and Dayton Taylor. And I think they're going to go at least another 5 to 10 laps here. 3 wide salute, Dario on the bottom. He's trying to get the Scotch tape, 30-54, jumping quite into position ahead with the 3MFF FedEx machine. And of course, the old reigning terror, Tyler Dalton right now. They'll call 8118va.com. Just looking to just sniggle his way in. Or excuse me, the nc.com, not. Dayton Taylor right now trying to hold on. And you know, Samuel is not going to give him that race lead away that easily. He knows he'll try to bolster and run that power down as much as he has to. Durrell right now currently just defending and defouling the bottom or the middle lane ahead. Dayton Taylor now looking on, trying to charge as well. He knows he's in a bit of a gap, bit of a bridge here or two, and looking for whatever he can get in there. Dayton right now obviously knows he needs to find a way around that 43 to get the necessary stage points to possibly lock himself one step into that championship four. This is so important for him, and he knows it. Got to be one or two if that 44 had he not done what he did there, got old Joe Hudson. Man, would he be somewhere closer into that championship run? But now instead he threw himself even further back. Tyler Dalton, the old Ranterra, finally scratching up a little bit. Scott Simley, Cameron Dario, they are pouncing right up there on the 44. Christoph Hollow now. It could go either way between these guys. Laps winding down, time running out. Dario deep to the inside, forcing up a little bit, and Simley having to force himself back in between on the bottom lane, down in the middle lane there, the groove on the back straightaway. Keeping up on the distance too, and just up ahead, Dayton Taylor finally got a run from 3 and 4, and now he's going to get a whole bunch of bumping there from the 43. Samuel Rell cannot be a happy camper about this one. He knows chances are running off, and he's running out of options here. Dayton Taylor with the final pass, and now looking to run away with the stage points. So important right now that he needed it. The Rocket League 45 knows he can't make any more mistakes now. He's got to fight Samuel Rell with everything he's got. Go from offense now into the defensive mode. Samuel trying to get the inside lane, couldn't quite get it there. A few more laps to go. Lap 60 looks to be the stage break. Samuel back underneath, big jump off of the crossover. Positioning extremely key. He did not leave anything off that run there. He made everything work to an extent. Look at this, Joe Hudson. Despite the fact this dude literally just got whacked in the back a little earlier on, he's not exactly laid off right now. Samuel back in the lead. Dayton Taylor might be seeing his one and only chance to actually have a little bit of a cushion now, starting to fall away from him. Again, if he's got that cushion to help out from the stage point side of things, it'll help him keep him up on the pace, keep him on the distance, but this is not what he wants. Couple laps remaining now here. Joe Hudson with Tyler Dalton right behind him, as well as number 54 Cameron Dario, trying to find a little bit of a leg up and trying to get a little bit more drive off into the distance. Hudson right now, I gotta believe, probably making Dayton even more mad just by the fact that he's honestly not letting him race out on that 43, and instead racing him against the 15. Not exactly what we want to see if you're a championship 4 contender here. Couple more laps left right now. Samuel just trying to hang in there. This is not what Dayton or Christoph all wants to know. Now again, if Samuel wins this race, he's already locked in no matter what happens. But what this could do is this could help him just enough to finally get to the big one and to the biggest race of his career. Could be trying to pull the Mike Taylor line down there and trying to throw a little bit of a drive off into the distance. The Mike Kelly there, I should say. I don't know how I keep forgetting about Mike down there. I am so sorry there. He is the driver number 6 as well, just for the record books. Yeah, Mike Kelly. I don't know how I keep forgetting his name down there. I'm sorry. I must have been on the vacation way too long, because I did not have my usual setup and my usual stuff, and now I'm going completely insane. Speaking of going completely insane, Dario probably getting a little bit more insane just the fact that he wasn't able to get it closer to Samuel, as he will take the 43 stage number 2 away from the field. Samuel is going to get the halfway caution and get the stage points he needs to set himself for the big ones ahead. Well, I thought that was going to be our stage break. I thought we said lap 60. They don't get it this next time around, then I am misinformed here, guys. Well, and maybe it's informed. I think Dario doesn't seem to mind either. I think Samuel probably realizing he might want to get a little bit more speed going before Dario gets to him. Close counter here. Dario's right there with him. Does he get another lap? They're going to give him another couple laps. I don't know what's going on. I swear I have lap 60 as my stage broke here, guys. I don't know what's going on. They have changed laps on me here. But at this point, just let him race it out. At this point, let's just see what happens. We'll go on board with Dario. Dario trying to get there to Harrell right now at this point. He knows if he wins stage points, that'll help him out. But again, at this point, Dario really is looking more towards the track position. I don't think really that's his. I think that's his bigger scare here. honestly thought we had the stage break ended already, but they said no, so I'm just currently just waiting for whenever that caution flag decides to fly out. Whoever's ahead there in that position, that's what I'll call the stage winner. If I said Samuel was, but it could change in a minute if Dario gets to him. Got your battle for the lead. Meanwhile, battle in the back of the pack right now. Scott Simley, almost like just literally like a phoenix rising from the ashes. He's just muscling the heck out of that 7. The Heineken number 7 Ford Mustang is not letting up, and he's not giving anything up either. He's trying to get right there where Dario is and trying to make something work here, unlike what Dario's been getting out of this 43 of Samuel. Samuel just continuing to block him off and not let him through. The gap, though, is just getting to be extremely close, even too close for me to call. Well, 3 wide Sluden back there, too. They are 3 deep. Sturgill, all, and looks like Simley currently fighting it amongst each other, and they're not giving anything up to the one other off the corner, too. Kind of nothing anything else to expect there, but man, you got to be very consistent and conservative if you're going to make moves like that. Because honestly, that wide of a track, that wide of a spot, it's still a lot that can go wrong. It's still a lot that can possibly get you into trouble once in a while. I don't think this was the end of this. I don't think we're already too far ahead. There we go. There's the stage break. I was wondering where that stage break was. And it looks like Cameron Dario actually did get ahead of Samuel Rell. Or did he? I think he did, actually. I just missed as we're coming off turn number 4 there. But yeah, it looks like Dario just got himself stage points, which means now Samuel, he needs a little bit of help, and he needs a little bit of a break here, because now he's going to be in the toughest position here. He doesn't win this race, he could easily be knocked out, because he is underneath the playoff bracket right now. I roll them into pit road right now here. Let's see what happens for these drivers now, because this is their last chance at figuring it all out, putting it all together. Dario, Hall, Harrell, Wild, Hickman Jr., Holyfield, Van Schaik. Big spot here, Simley as well. Right side's going on. Looks like left sides as well. They're going to need all of them, honestly, at this point. The pit stop's going to be extremely close. Dayton Taylor trying to get out there quick. No, he's not going to get it there. It will be Samuel Rowe getting the pit stop out of the pit. The race from pits road's going to give him one more golden opportunity. Simley in the 3rd spot, Hall in the 4th, and Dario taking it into the 5th. This could get interesting in a little bit, folks. Time is now. Time is money. Let's see who brings it home to victory lane. Championship implications on the line as we bring him to the green. Opportunities now becoming more and more intensified in the pit stop. Oh, Samuel, no! My, right off turn number 2, right into the spin and into the groove. He got him right off. He managed to save it, but that just cost him so much time and effort he got from pit road just literally in one corner. Oh, my. Just got it completely tight there and then loosened out off of turn number 2 there. Now, all of a sudden, he just gave the lead to Dayton Taylor. And Scott Simley now, he just rolls right to the front. He's got to run off, and now he's got a little bit of speed going his way. Simley pushes it right up there with the 45 Rocket League machine. But the Heineken 7 stays out of trouble. Simley knows he cannot be getting too aggressive here. He knows he can be making friends and enemies in this race alone. He's in second place right now on the points. A win would obviously lock him up, but he doesn't need to make enemies. Because honestly, he can finish where he's at right now. He'll be in one way or another. He does not need to win this race. Christoph Hall, though, Dayton Taylor, both of those guys, they know that is the only way they will make it into this run. You're on board here with Christoph Hall. Little slip up there on the Gillette number 44. You hear the tires actually start to kind of whine and grind there a little bit. Almost kind of go around, spin out a bit. Didn't quite give it as much as he was hoping for. Maybe a little bit more run when he needed to be. Trolling back right now, but in the mix here is Tyler Dalton. That first stage pretty much just decided to play his way, his game, his style, no way, no how. And he just didn't care from there. A little bit of a far cam here, the NC811.org. Oh, wait a minute, trouble there. The caution flag is out on the track. And looks like the number 8 of Maurice Burnett and some other drivers there involved. See if we can take a look and see what happened exactly. And looks like Charles Van Schaik and Sam Morrell. Oh yeah, looks like a little tangle there. Unfortunately, that could be bad there for Sam Morrell. Him and Maurice Burnett just clipping it right into one another there off that turn and into the corner. Not much they could do. It was really one way or another there. They were going to end up in trouble. So a tough break there for them, unfortunately. That was, well, would have been your PT Race TV Instant Replay. Instead, I just kind of got to go out the replay that very little could see and very little be able to really kind of tell. So I apologize in advance for that one. So we've double filed him up now for our restart lap here. 1 to go now, marking on the track. Scott Simley going to be your race leader here with Dayton Taylor. Dayton Taylor will be the race leader. Scott Simley going to be on the bottom lane. So Dayton actually swapping the lines out a little bit, I believe. Interesting strategy from Dayton to go to the outside line instead of trying to drive it from the bottom end where most of the other drivers have been. Maybe he's thinking he's going to get more speed driving that quickly to the outside groove and maybe stay out of that slick that got the 43 of Samuel in trouble earlier. Samuel obviously not too pleased or thrilled that he may have had his championship hopes and dreams just rashed and dashed. That little slick hit there from the spin in turn 2, and then all of a sudden the smack dack in the middle of turn 4, and then crashing on the front straightaway there. We'll see what happens though as they roll him down on the front straightaway here. Dayton Taylor going to be your leader to the drive as we line him back to the green. Green flag back up in the air. 44 to go for the 45. All right now currently trying to build up momentum immediately there. He's moved into the 3rd spot there with Simley. Scott Simley right now obviously knows as long as he doesn't get himself into trouble here, he'll be okay. And Tyler Dalton, the old reign of terror. You knew eventually he was going to come in here. He was going to set a message. I think he really doesn't care at this point who's his final 4. It's a matter of who is he going to run into. I do apologize if I sound a little tired as well. Remember, I am still on vacation, guys, and it's literally 11 o'clock right now where I'm at instead of my usual time, which is probably about 2.5 hours below that. So, rolling it down from the turn off turn number 2 there. Tyler Dalton immediately ripping it on the bottom lane, trying to get there to Simley and trying to get it to Hall, but it's not enough go and no run to be cleaning out from. 'Aiden Taylor right now has been pretty much in the contention this entire season. He's been in that momentous occasion numerous times. Had himself on the line and so many things at stake. He's had multiple wins, multiple chances this playoff grid, but really it's been anything but his chance, and he knows he's been in a very tight little spot. This race could finally be the thing that eclipses that issue and finally gives him a chance to show what he's up for. Wide, saluting Dario, pushing it a little bit up to there to Sturgill's camp. Sturgill probably not wanting exactly to get up there in the 18 spot of things. Schmidt's obviously watching very carefully. Knew there could have been trouble. He got out of it quickly and watched himself into the momentum. Laps left to go now. Dayton Taylor now has one little problem on his hands. If he wants to take a round of 4 spot in terms of a win, well, let's just say there's somebody behind him that would not mind changing that rule up a little bit. The Reign of Terror, as he's known, is now pretty much the nickname Rot for all its care, because he's rotting every driver out and rotting every little speed of the car out of these turns and these tracks. ROT, the Rot, the Reign of Terror, whatever the heck you want to call him at this point. Tyler Dalton has just been that guy this entire season stretch, and now these playoffs, it's almost like he's just turned on a new switch. Most winners, most wins and everything, and he's now trying to knock down Dayton Taylor here. Dayton has known to fight him before, and he's known to take it on to a few new levels. This could be his difference maker. This could be his chance to get there again. it back in now, Dalton. There he goes, just like he did in the Truck Series. He just waited, 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 and his time came to make his move and make his mark. The crossover is complete. The slide job is struck, and now he is moving it in. Dalton leading this field in. Knows now he is pretty much right where he needs to be, right where he wants to be. All has come before to try to take this away from him, and he has not been able to do so. "36 laps left" is the score right now. Tyler Dalton, your winner in stage 1. Cameron Dario, your winner in stage 2. Dalton right now leading in Dario in the 7th spot, and he's currently fighting a back behind, a little bit of a mix-up job on everyone else's camp here. In between right now here, battle for the 5th spots here. You can see Dario needs to start climbing the mountain, needs to start climbing that wall and get there to the field. He's only got so many chances left, and he wants to make it to the final round of 4. He knows he's going to do everything in his chances and his possibilities to move there. Schmitz Hall right now staying on the high side. Dario travels to the bottom, shoots the gap off on the 18. Now he's going to try to shoot the gap on the 44, but now without crossing the 18. Schmitz gave him too much opening and too much room to move, and he knew it. Despite Schmitz not winning a single race this season, just like he did in the Truck Series, he's just been so darn consistent. Oh, as Dario gets a big lag flash on the turn 4 wall. Just shows just true consistency and true smite and speed. Actually, it might be able to work out. Dario and Hall right now, mano a mano, battle for the 4th spot here. Simley, Taylor, all going after Dalton up ahead as you see it, but this is a big battle charging up. Dario looking for a crossover. Can't quite get the speed, but he's going to force Hall a little bit. He is strangely just smacking that gas pedal up and trying to make a move off, but Hall is getting the better run on the exits, and that's what's helping him. Plus, he's got drafter and help here. Dario possibly put too much into the breadbasket as he possibly put himself too far into the zone. Now left to mark off. Again, fuel strategy, timing strategy, everything is there. It is now setting up for whoever wants to make the best of their situation the most and quickly here. Charles Van Schaik rolling right on the gap here and rolling back into the fight. It's now crossed up there with number 12, Aaron X. Jackson. Shanshike, oh boy, ho ho! He almost turned into Van Eyck because he was about to go for a little tip to the turn walls and the ouchie that comes with it. That was a little crikey moment right there, if you ask me. Okay, I'll stop with the Ike jokes there. Well, filling off right in the mix there. Dario finally jumping ahead and in between there for the 4th spot. Finally gets something going. Simley charging up quick to Dayton Taylor, and now looking to still make a move off on the 19. Simley knows, though, he doesn't need to win the race. He just needs to beat Dayton Taylor and a few of the others, and he'll already lock himself in. Really, where he's at right now, though, he'll lock in no matter what. But in his mind, that will not work well. Dalton right now just keeping Taylor and Simley at bay and just hoping to fight him off as much as he can here. And match and drive it around on town here. No one giving an inch and no one giving up. All of it takes is just one little slip up, and next thing you know, you're in a bit of trouble there for your own good. Van Schaik in the 23 just looking to roll off the gaps and just hang on just a little longer there. Jackson right now in a bit of a heated battle there with Van Schaik. Dario just moving his way in, right into the line, just hoping for a break here. So many things right now playing into this field, playing into this drive. No one giving an inch, and obviously everyone on it is just hold on for that last bit of hope, that last bit of go. Joe Hudson immediately coming back from the pack and back from the drive out here. Had himself a little bit of problems earlier, and now just hoping for anything else at this point. He knows he was doing way too much, but it just was put beyond his own control, put beyond his own level. So pit stops now being made up on the track. Looks like Dario, Jackson, Shike, all in there. Samuel, Richard Crane, Scott Simley, and all them, as well as Tyler Dalton and Dayton Taylor. Decide and stay out. Dalton and Simley working together with Dayton Taylor right in behind the mix, trying to hold on. Little pit stops up for the grabs here. Dalton and Simley trying to race at each other in there as well. Ron Holyfield deciding to go in a little bit later than everyone as well. So now everyone that was on the lap down marker should be getting their lap back with a little bit of speed, a little bit of gap. They may be able to get there now. Samuel right now currently leading him in the field here, leading him off the distance, but again, he has not gone to pit road yet. So that tells me he could be in a little bit of pretentious little corner here, a little bit of a tougher battle off than maybe he was hoping for. With 18 laps to go, Samuel knows, though, if he does not figure this out, he has no choice. He has only what is at his wits and what is at his fight and his closure. I think maybe he's hoping and praying that he got enough speed just to stay ahead of him. Dayton Taylor, Joe Hudson, they are all now also coming up from the gaps, coming up from the ranks. Hoping for anything they can get here. This championship run, this final race of the season, all rest on whatever these drivers decide to do. Samuel way low on the bottom, and he's going to go to pit road now, hope for the best and hope for a break. Tyler Dalton is in the back straightaway right now. Samuel currently in pit road. Dalton looking to get it just one step ahead of everybody. One last collapse, one last fight. Harrell sees this championship hope all but forgotten and lost if he doesn't get in and out quickly. Samuel has to hurry. He's in finally, but it's too late. Dalton has already got him. Now all that's left is for Tyler Dalton to just finish this race out. The rain of terror strikes them all down. Samuel maybe looking at his championship hopes all but lost. No wins, no chance at the final four. Dayton Taylor sees this as his golden move, this golden shot. The thing he's waited for, longed for, and fought for to get to. With Joe Hudson behind him. And the way it's looking right now, I think Christoph All might be ahead enough to finally finish this out. Scott Simley is pretty well comforted right now and pretty good in position. Schmitz maybe too far behind. Hall might be needing to make a bit of a Hail Mary move and a bit of a Hail Mary run to get it ahead of everyone, but he knows he's got the speed and the power to do it, and his tires not hurting him out either. 14 laps now, marking them up, trail down, and lined into position. So much has been thrown this way today. Everything was given out to these drivers, and they knew what they were going into. But I don't think any of them were expecting how hard this was going to really take down today. Dalton now 2 seconds ahead of Dayton Taylor, but Dayton Taylor actually is getting a little bit of speed back on him. I think he might have a little bit something left here, but barring any cautions, at this point, Dalton would have won both races and have a steam of momentum going into that championship race. But he also knows more than anything, this was kind of like his peak performance, his big saving grace. Tyler Dalton right now just looking on, sees what's going on, knows he just doesn't need to worry about much else. Alan Wild, the Wild Man, I'll talk about a good season he's had as well. He obviously had a few good moments. Showed that he had a little bit of speed, a little bit more run. And he knew, too, that he can make a run for it or two and make some serious momentum. Richard Crane, I thought at some points, honestly, he could have won the races and actually shocked a lot of guys. He's not a slow poke by any means. He's actually one of the guys that hangs around back, but if you give him one little strategy, he sneaks up on you so easily. It's genuinely surprising and actually crazy how good he is at it. Tyler now from 10 to 9 laps to go. And he has pretty much put everybody in shame and on the position, on the spot. He's telling everyone flat out, you face me in that championship race. I will not hold back. And speaking of not holding back, look at Dario. Perhaps a last gasp, a last breath. He won the stage. Now he's just trying to see, can he finalize with maybe a top 3 podium? Will it be enough to make him into the championship? I don't know. It's hard to say. He might have a shot, but again, remember Dayton Taylor was on that bubble line. Or excuse me, Christoph Hall was on that bubble line with Dayton Taylor just barely ahead of him. Is that necessarily going to be enough? I do not think. I do not know. Because again, you got to think, Dario, he was right in the cusp of it. He was 76 points back to the lead. He was 54 points back in the 7th spot. So that stage points may have helped, but is it enough? Even if he gets to Taylor, is Christoph Hall far enough back where he's going to be able to make a run for it, maybe be able to try to take him down a few notches? I don't think he is. Well, let's see, because right now, again, if Simley gives Dario any little leeway here, this could make things a little bit more difficult here. Digging into the inside. Ooh, I'm not sure if Silly got into the wall there coming off turn 4, but man, he did something. He slowed up bad. Now Dario to the 3rd spot all of a sudden just like that. What a complete 180 that one just did there. Now Dario sees maybe the only last hope, his last chance at survival could be right in his spot. If he catches this 45 down here, he's going to need to invert that position away from him. And the way he has inverted his numbers from the 2nd place guy, it may be enough. Top 5 now with 5 to go. These final 5 laps will make you either a driver or completely take you out. Simley again does not need to win, nor does he need to stay ahead in the 3rd spot. He's already locked in, but at this point probably doesn't really care too much. Just needs to finish in that top 5, and Simley will lock himself in. Dayton Taylor, where he's at right now, he'll lock himself in as well. The real battle is between whether or not Hall is too far back behind to give Dario enough time to breathe, enough time to ruin for. And Hall right now, again, currently in the top 10 bracket, but he's also still in a bit of an obsolete position. Because you got to look at where he is at, and that being in that 10th spot, that's still a very good chunk of change there between him and Dario. That's 7 positions. I don't know how exactly the points-wise that'll be, but it could be enough for possibly Dario to make it in there. But Simley fighting him off with 3 laps remaining here. Closing in there. Dayton Taylor is not out of the woods yet. Only about a second ahead. Not long. But nothing too extravagant either. It looks like Simley kind of nicking him a little bit. Forcing him into some very tough spots here. Tyler Dalton, the 7500 number 19 Ford Mustang, just continuing to pull it through. 2 laps to go. Green flag high in the air. Samuel Rell, once again, another season full of troublesome problems and a very tough little deal for him. Nothing he can do. Dayton Taylor came on the scene, fights off a lot of drivers and fights in with the best of them. Puts himself in the round of 4 with a finish here. Cameron Dario, Christoph Hall, they're going to fight for that last spot, see who gets in. Simley pretty much locked in no matter what. If he finishes where he's at right now, everybody has made their point and their voice is heard, but it's now time for your white flag lap presented by Global Strategy Team for Tyler Dalton, the Reign of Terror this season and the truck season. Nothing but perfection. And yet again, here he goes for just one last ride, one last battle, maybe a little bit. A sweet, sweet redemption for the Truck Series race here at Auto Club, which could have been basically our greatest race we've ever seen these Go Boys put on. We'll finally see this Next Gen Cup Series number 19 tail whip it around for one more go. Tyler Dalton is going to Phoenix, and he's going with momentum. He's your winner at Auto Club. Dayton Taylor will join him. Scott Simley will join him. But will it be Dario or will it be Christoph Hall joining him in the final round? The points will need to be tallied up and totaled up, but it is way too close to call. A long stretch and a fight, to say the least, as Christoph Hall just completely dashes that entire front end nose into the inside wall. I don't think he's feeling too confident about this championship run. We'll see. But nevertheless, coming down to the 19 here, Tyler Dalton, the Reign of Terror, back to victory lane. He'll secure one more for him and his team with momentum and hope for possibly being crowned the Next Gen Cup Series champion. The NCAA11.org just putting on one heck of a run there, guys. What a performance there, and I believe that Tyler was going to burn some donuts down there eventually. He knew he had to have a little fun with it, so. A little trip to the 19-hole victory lane and a little trip to the spotlight, and the biggest one he could think of today. We'll listen to your top three here, but first now let's just get it down to business. As first, the 19, Tyler Dahlman, your race winner here. And Tyler, you won last week at Pocono. This time you come to Auto Club, maybe sweet redemption for that truck race, and you just put the boots to all of them here. Congratulations on that. What was it like just to bring the Sim 519 to victory lane at last in the Auto Club Speedway?
Yeah, thank you. I was last week. There were some questions of whether or not I earned it, so hopefully we're not here tonight and show that we earned it. Honestly, about that second stage, I didn't think I was going to be able to get back up near the front. Seemed like back in the Dirty Arrow track, the car was just really skady and couldn't really get much done on the bottom groove. And there in the last stage, figured out something that was able to get the bottom groove to work a little bit there, and was able to get some track position and get up there into the lead. And then the draft was so strong, and I knew that Dayton and Simley were going to be able to hang with me if they were on the same strategy. So I was hoping that they would split strategies, and sure enough, Dayton took 2, and Simley took 4, so they came out apart. So I was able to get the gap over Dayton, so he couldn't get the draft, and the guys that had the draft were coming there at the end, but they were just ran a lap, so we were just hoping to get a big enough gap where they couldn't run us down.
Okay, run him down. I know the draft, obviously, you said was a very important deal to this race today. Obviously, I know going to Phoenix, that draft is not going to be too much of the game plan. Rather, it's going to be more or less just trying to deal with the wear and tear of the tires and trying to corner off when you can. For you, though, I mean, the fact that you're able to kind of master one part of the strategy and now having to face the next part, do you think you are truly ready to win that championship in Avondale, Arizona?
It's Phoenix. We'll see what happens. I've enjoyed this season. No matter what happens at Phoenix, I've had a fun time racing here on Saturdays. Had a blast racing most of the guys. So, always, like I said, whoever wins at Phoenix has earned it. So hopefully we'll go there and maybe we'll find some speed like we did on Tuesday night. Because if we show up like we did with the Xfinity car, we're going to be in trouble.
Well, we'll see you there. But nevertheless, Tyler, you're going to the round of 4. Who do you want to thank you for all this today, buddy?
Just want to thank all the GOAT and Sim 500 admins here that put on the show. I want to thank you for putting on the broadcast and my teammates down there in the Sim 500 Mafia.
Tyler, man, you've earned this one again. You're earning your trip to Victory Lane and trip to the round of 4. Good luck there. We'll see you at Avondale, buddy. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Tyler Dalton, ladies and gentlemen. All right, now we'll talk to the second place finisher today, the 45, Dayton Taylor, going to punch his way to the round of 4 there. As I've done my math calculations, Dayton, this was a long road there, sir. At times it seemed like you got knocked out. Then there's times you were just jumping right in. You're leading it. You're going to go for the win. You're in. I got to believe there's a whole range of emotions for you there until you finally just kind of caught a break and got that second spot wrapped up there, bud.
Yeah, Convenient, who I lost it to. Again, he's kind of the guy to beat every week, so it's going to be a struggle next week. But yeah, this race was pretty good. I didn't know where to run in quali, but I knew that if I ever got a chance to rip the fence, I was good up there. Didn't really get that chance because I guess it just wasn't working. But yeah, it was a pretty good race. Tried to punch my ticket by a win, but yeah.
Yeah, I may not be able to punch it by a win, but I mean, at the end of the day, you have made it to the round of 4. This is a championship race coming up. I mean, Avondale obviously is going to be more short track based. It's going to be tougher on the wrong run base. But for you and this team, I mean, really, do you see yourself possibly bringing it home the championship in Avondale next week?
maybe I have to catch a pretty big stroke of luck. 'Cause from what I remember, my Pocono, or not my Pocono, my Phoenix really isn't that great, but anything's possible in here, so just gotta see what happens.
See what happens. Put it all on the track there, good sir. But nevertheless, as you come away today with a solid second place finish and a trip into the round of 4, who do you want to thank you for this one, bud?
Just everyone in this league for keeping it clean week in, week out for the most part. I know there were a few wrecks today, but nobody really throwing insane blocks. No, anything stupid. So.
Well, he kept it clean, kept it throughout. Nevertheless, Dayton, we appreciate your time. Congratulations here at Auto Club, and good luck in Avondale there, good sir.
Thank you.
Dayton Taylor, ladies and gentlemen. See if this is Cameron Dario real quick. We'll talk with him. Cameron, is this you, bud?
No, sir. Wrong C, buddy. It's Christoph.
All right, thanks, bud. Also, just I guess once we got you anyway, had a long run there and a little bit of a battle off for you and the team. I mean, it certainly had, I believe, you had pretty much been fighting to scratch and clawing for every position to get to this round of 4, weren't you?
I was trying my best. This is normally one of my better tracks. And I didn't do too bad at first, with everyone kind of trying to figure out what the car can do. It's just, for whatever reason, the setup was just super tight. Normally, I'm battling to try to get, playing with the throttle, make sure the car don't spin out. Instead, I'm playing with the throttle not to slam into the wall. So it is what it is, but I'll still race at the final 4 race and give them my best and try to mix it up for the rest of them.
I was going to ask, we really weren't able to do the points. Do you think if we were able to make it in there, are you in the final 4, or were you thinking the kind of points are at? Because we know Dario got a stage point, but we knew you also only finished 7 points positions back, so we weren't sure too where you guys were at in that points.
The big kicker would be Sammy. He got a lot of stage points. I think he ended up beating me for the stage points. If it's not that, then yeah, I made it to the final 4. So either way, it's gonna be one of the 43 racing cars.
For sure there. Well, nevertheless, Christoph, I know this was a long, tumultuous journey here in Auto Club, but I guess for the final thoughts, who do you want to thank her for this one today, buddy?
Thank all my teammates, Sammy, CJ, Kramer, Ryan, Russ, and my buddy Darren.
For sure there. All right, well, Christoph, man, been a long season, long road with a win at Talladega, but we appreciate coming on board. We'll see you soon enough at Avondale. Good luck out there today, buddy.
Thank you.
Christoph Hall, ladies and gentlemen, finishing this one out, and that really will about do it because Cameron Dario has not gotten in touch with us here, so it could go between Samuel, it could go between Christoph Hall, it could go between Cameron Dario. I have absolutely no idea. All I can say is you guys will just have to wait and see, but nevertheless, race fans, that will do it for your coverage today. A big thank you to Go Racing League for everything they've done for us these last couple seasons. It's been a pleasure to have them on board. It's been a pleasure to call for you. Don't worry, I'll be home before you know, back with our old tricks and our old ticks and our old stuff that we use. But for now, thank you for all the support, guys. Thank you for supporting me on my vacation. I love you guys from the bottom of my heart. It really does mean a lot to me. I cannot wait to be back home, back in the studio, and back to give you guys the best show that we can bring you on this land. So for now, be safe out there. I will call it a night. Have a good night from us here on vacation and across the pond in the islands. We'll see you later.